Hey everybody, it's Meme Lord, and you guys loved the last tier list, the starter tier list. It blew up. It's my most popular video, and it was in about 10 hours. You guys really liked it, and so that makes me think that you guys like my opinions on things. So we're gonna do a legendary tier list now. I'm joined by Pillsbury. You know how things go. Let's just get right into it. I think he's shiny hunting, so maybe expect
Yes,
a
I am.
reaction. We'll see what happens.
Okay, no, that did affect it.
Maybe not a
I
good one.
dropped bacon, and now it's rock level 1. I have 9 minutes to make a stupid sandwich.
So this does go in generational order, and it does include Ultra Beasts. It goes up to Gen 8. There isn't one with Gen 9 yet, but it goes up to Gen 8. And there are alternate forms, like the Megas, the Primals, and like Magearna, but these will basically be the same. Anyways, let's get started. We'll start with the legendary birds. And I think they're fine. I will probably put Articuno and Zapdos in B and Moltres in A. Moltres is my favorite of the three. I like the Firebird. I just think it looks cool. I like Articuno. I like them both, but I think Moltres is the coolest one. I'm kind of indifferent to these two. Next is Mewtwo, who I think is an easy A tier. If not, man, I'll put Mewtwo in S. Come on, it's Mewtwo. One of like the first legendaries are kind of lost their flair because there's so many of them and a bunch of them are so easy to get like in every game. But finding Mewtwo in Cerulean Cave back in the day, that was special. And then the Megas, I'll put in A. I like them both. They're both really strong. I probably like Y more than X. Um, but I like both of them. They're both okay. And Mew, I think, is also S tier. Oh, and this does have mythicals. But yeah, I really like Mew. It learns every move in the game. That's awesome. It's cute. It's possibly, depending on how you think about it, the first Pokemon. It's either Bulbasaur, Rhydon, Arceus, or Mew. It's one of them. But yeah, come on. It's the original mythical. So like all of these, they're like the original legendary, so they can't not be high. Next is the legendary beasts, Raikou, Entei, and Suicune. Two of the three of which I've used in randomizer Nuzlocke on this channel. Suicune I'll put in A. I think Suicune's the coolest, the most majestic, and I like the flowing. I mean, this Raikou has like, or Entei has like the flowing thing too with the smoke, but I like the purple better. Entei I'll put in B, and Raikou I'll probably put in A as well. Spoiler for the Ultra Sun randomizer, which isn't out yet. I get a Raikou. Um, but these two I've used in the two series, and I think they're both really cool. And Entei too, but I don't like the like. I don't. I can see these two being water and electric. I think Entei should have had more red to it, other than just that. I think like maybe the smoke, if it got red like here and then slowly came out like actual smoke, I think that'd be cool. With Ho-Oh and Lugia, I like both. I'll put them both in A, but I like Lugia more. I It's criminal that it's not water type. I used to like Ho-Oh more, but I think Lugia's just cooler. But I think both of them are very solid, or great even. Um, Great
I think
follow
we
up.
both know the better shiny, though.
Yeah, Ho-Oh does have a really good shiny. And Lugia's isn't bad, but Ho-Oh's is better.
I perfected this sandwich. This better give me the stupid rock level 2.
Next we have Celebi. I'll put an A. Another personal attachment because of the Nuzlocke series. Celebi was on the team. Half of my team was legendaries. Registeel's about to come up here. But Celebi, I really like Celebi. I think
Oh,
my only grievance with it is that it should have became fairy type instead of psychic when fairy type was released because it's like the fairy Pokemon, which should have been changed. But I get they didn't want to change the legendary. But I like the cute grass thing, and I like time travel, and the movie's cool. Not as good as other ones, but next we're moving on to Hoenn with the Reggies. Registeel's my favorite, not because he was my starter in the Alpha Sapphire one, but because I think I think Red Dragon's the best shiny, but I think Registeel's like the coolest. Steel's my favorite type of these three, and I think it's the most like, I don't know, I don't know. I mean, they're both okay. I guess I'll put these two. I'll put Regirock in B and Regice in C. I'm not a big fan of Regice. It's got a pretty bad shiny. It's the only one that doesn't have Reggie technically in its name, which is weird because a lot of people pronounce it wrong. And it's just like, I don't know. I like Regirock though. I think it's solid. It's got a great shiny though. Best shiny of the three. Latios and Latias. I think I prefer Latios. So I guess I'll put Latios in A, Latias in B. I guess I'll put them both in B. They're interchangeable. They're basically the same, and their megas are. I'll put their megas in C just because they are the exact same, except for like maybe there's like little color changes, but they're very similar, except for like the eyes, I think. Next we have Kyogre, and I really like Kyogre. A lot of these are going to be in A. Actually, no, I'll put Kyogre in S, frankly, along with Primal Kyogre. I think Kyogre's awesome. And I'll put Groudon up there too. In Prime, I like Primal Groudon more than Primal Kyogre, but I like regular Kyogre more than regular Groudon. I like the giant fish thing. I think it's more menacing. Than Groudon. I don't know. I prefer Alpha Sapphire mainly because of Kyogre. I just think it's really cool. And not to disrespect Groudon, it's very solid, especially Primal version. But I just like Kyogre more. Next we have Rayquaza, which is also S tier. Hoenn's got maybe some of the best legendaries. Rayquaza and Mega Rayquaza is awesome. Mega Rayquaza being the strongest obtainable Pokemon in the game. Aside from Eternamax Eternus, but you can't get that. But Rayquaza is awesome. Come on.
Eternamax?
The boss fight?
You mean Gigantamax? You said Eternamax.
Because that's the name of it. It's Eternamax.
Oh, it is? Mm-hmm. Really? Oh, okay. I didn't know that. That's cool. You learn new stuff every day, guys.
But like, the Weather Trio is just the best, maybe the best legendary trio, probably the best. But Rayquaza is awesome. It's a Sky Serpent Dragon. Who doesn't? I mean, this is when like Rayquaza was the first dragon, aside from Latias and Latias, but that's like the same thing. It was the first dragon legendary before we got so many more. But yeah, come on, Rayquaza is awesome, and the Mega is just so cool. And Emerald's a great game. Jirachi I'll put in A. It's solid. After Mew, the Mythicals are just kind of all the same. They get pretty whack movesets, and they're just kind of okay. But Jirachi's cute, and The Wishmaker is a decent movie. Deoxys, not a fan of Deoxys. I'll put Deoxys down in C. All four forms probably. It's not very strong, and it's just like it's kind of annoying. I don't know. I don't like Deoxys. There's nothing. And it like used to be a mythical, but now now it's not anymore. It's just no. I don't like Deoxys. I think it's fine, but Lake Trio I'll put in C along with Deoxys. They're just kind of boring. There's nothing really special about them. They're not very strong. If you got them in a randomizer, they would be like okay, but I definitely replace them for something better that wasn't legendary. Being pure psychic isn't a fantastic type. You know, with Dark, Bug, Ghost, Dark and Ghost being sort of common types. But if I had to pick a favorite, Azelf is my favorite of the three. And now with the main trio in Sinnoh, Dialga, Palkia, and Giratina. I think Dialga's A tier. I really like Dialga. It was my favorite for a while before I played Platinum, because I think Steel Dragon is a really cool typing. I think Palkia is B. Water Dragon isn't as cool, and its head is kind of shaped weird, so I don't. But I also prefer the blue coloring than the purple and pink. But I think Giratina's S tier. Ghost is my favorite type, and having a Ghost Dragon who's basically from the underworld, and you go to it, it's just so menacing and cool and creepy and awesome that it's so cool. I prefer its origin form than its this form. And I also got a shiny Giratina in like 40 resets in Brilliant Diamond. So that's really awesome.
I got a shiny Giratina in 2 raids in Go, which was really cool.
Moving on to Heatran. It's okay. I'll put it in B. It's like Fire Steel isn't a great type. And he's also kind of weird looking. If you were to tell me like a fire spider, I would have thought of something much cooler than a turd. But I don't know, it's fine. Regigigas I'll also put in B. It would be better if it did not have slow start. Don't know why they gave it slow start. It was a legendary, no need to nerf it. Like, they didn't give Mega Rayquaza, like, Truant. They gave him slow start. Like, I don't know. I don't know why they nerfed him when they kept all the other ones strong. Cresselia is fine. Again, these three are just kind of okay. Cresselia is probably my favorite of the three. I think it also should have gotten the fairy type later on, but I like its connection with Darkrai, which I'll put Darkrai in A. Because I like the lore behind Darkrai. Like, even though it's kind of dark, no pun intended, of like going into people's dreams and Cresselia being like the counterpart to save them. I think that's cool. I don't know which one's Manaphy and which one's Phione, but I'll put Manaphy in.
Phione. Shoot.
I'll put Manaphy in B. I think that's Manaphy, and I'll put Phione in D. Phione is the most useless legendary, and I hate it. It's terrible.
Manaphy is the one with bigger little antenna, I think.
Yeah, I think I got it right. I let Manaphy's fine. Phione's terrible. Hate Phione. It's so useless. Manaphy's just better in every way.
Phione has the blue.
Yeah, alright. Manaphy's just better in every way. Shaman. I'll put regular Shaman in C and Skyform in D. Skyform is kind of cool. Regular is useless, and it's a prick in the movie. So that kind of brings it down for me, that it's really annoying. And next we have God, Arceus, and I'll put Arceus in A. Legends Arceus brought it up so much. It would be in B or C, but Arceus being like your guide, and then the boss fight against Arceus is really awesome in that game. I had a lot of fun with that, so I'll put Arceus in A. Victini I'll also put in A. I really like Victini. Probably, besides Mew, probably my favorite mythical. Marshallow's close. Marshadow or Victini for second. But I really like Victini. I think V-Create's an awesome move. It's like idea of always being a winner, that if you have it. I think it's really cute. Probably the cutest mythical that we've had. Moving on to this. Yeah. Who do you think's better?
Mew.
I could see that. I prefer Victini, though.
Okay.
Next we have the Swords of Justice. Cobalion I'll put in A.
Okay. I was gonna say, if you put Cobalion anywhere under A.
No, Cobalion's my favorite of the three.
Cobalion is my favorite legendary.
I'll put Terrakion and Virizion in B. I think they're fine. I think Virizion's head thing's kind of weird, and Terrakion's fine. I just don't really, it doesn't appeal to me, but I think Cobalion's cool. I used Cobalion because in Black 2 and White 2, you get them during the main story, and you get Cobalion first, and so I used him on my team, and that was really fun. I really like him for that. And he's got a subtle shiny that I think is really good. A lot of people say they can't notice shiny Cobalion. I can, and I think it's great.
Shiny Cobalion is awesome.
I think it's great. I think it's an underrated shiny.
Yeah, I don't think Cobalion. I think Cobalion shiny is cool, and it's not because Cobalion is my favorite legendary. If its shiny sucked, I would admit that its shiny sucked. But its shiny is actually, I like its shiny a lot.
Now we have, Now we have the Weather Trio. The other one, Enamorus, isn't on here, but it'd probably go in C. Not really a fan. And they're all fine. I don't hate them. I'm indifferent to them. The regular forms are fine. The Therian forms are worse. The Therian forms are worse, in my opinion. I like these guys are fine. I know they have like a really great lore behind them, but I don't know it, so I can't really discredit them for that. But Therian forms I just think look weird, especially this one, Landorus. Thundurus is Therian form is all right. It's the best of the three, but Next we have Reshiram and Zekrom, and I like both of these. I'll put them both in A. The yin and yang symbolism is cool. I think both have really cool typings: Dragon Electric and Fire Dragon. Although I don't know why Zekrom is the mascot of white and Reshiram is the mascot of black. That was always weird to me. And they're I guess I'll put Kyurem in B. I like Kyurem less. It's disproportionate, but it's supposed to be like that because it's like the remnants of the original dragon with the three of them put together. So it's supposed to look weird like that with like oddly shaped wings and like the little electric plugs looking things. But I think it's fine. And I'll put white Kyurem and black Kyurem in A too. I think they're both cool. Although I don't know why they're Dragon Ice and not Dragon Electric and Dragon Fire. I'm pretty sure they're both Dragon Ice. I don't think they change. There's Kyurem's type. Keldeo is okay. Probably my least favorite Swords of Justice. I guess its Resolute form is better because it's got more color and more going on. But it's just like, and he's also kind of annoying in the movie. Nothing really. Water fighting's a fine type, but he's just kind of boring to me.
I like all the Swords of Justice. Cobalion's obviously my favorite legendary, and then I like it.
Meloetta, I'll put Pirouette and Regular in the same. I probably like Regular more than Pirouette. But they're both fine. Nothing too special about them. Probably, like, besides, like, Fion, the most forgettable mythical. Or maybe Manaphy's more. But, like, there's nothing much to him. Being normal type doesn't help him out. And then last for Gen 5 is Genesect, which I'll put in B as well. It's just okay. The idea that it was an old Kabutops is cool, but I'm pretty sure that theory's been like disproven, and it's not true. But it's like its move changing with the drives is cool, and it's kind of cool in the movie how they like ride on it. Xerneas, I think Xerneas is awesome. I'll put Xerneas in S tier, both forms because they're basically the same. But
here, I have a question. Is Pirouette form Meloetta the orange thing?
Yeah.
The orange one? Okay, that's what I thought.
I think Xerneas is awesome, being the first fairy legendary. The blue form is fine, but like the colorful one is much better. I'll put them both in S because they barely change. But just like it turning into the Tree of Life and being the counterbalance to Yveltal's darkness is cool, and I'll put Yveltal in A. He's not as cool as Xerneas, even though he does make a Y, and Xerneas is kind of an X. But I think the Fairy is is a really good type, and I think it's a great first fairy legendary. And Yveltal is not bad for being another dark one. I really like it, especially Oblivion Wing and like the Cocoon. But yeah, I just think they're both really cool. I just like Xerneas more. Zygarde, I'm pretty sure this is just a Zygarde cell. So I guess we'll put it in C. This one's the dog, so we'll put it in B. This one's the snake, so we'll put it in A. And then I think this one's complete form. I think this one is the one from the anime. I think it's an anime exclusive, and I like Squishy, so we'll put Squishy in S.
The single cell is Squishy.
Well, there's a different one on here. There's two. There's the cell from the games, and then Squishy.
Oh, okay.
I'm pretty sure this is Squishy. I don't know what else it could be.
I think Squishy's voice is hilarious.
Squishy's the GOAT. We love him from the XYZ anime.
Squishy sounds like C-3PO. It's hilarious. I love it.
And Zygarde's just awesome. It's a shame that that the three Kalos legendaries, I think they're all really cool, but they were in games. Like, if Pokemon Z existed, Zygarde would possibly be, like, my favorite legendary. He's awesome. But, yeah. Squishy and Zygarde, he's so cool, especially complete forms, like the mouth and then the story behind it. Especially, like, in Ultra Sun. I'm pretty sure it was the first... Sun Ultra Moon was the first game you can get it. Or complete form. I know you can get this in X and Y. I feel like this is the more known Zygarde form, but I think this is the cooler one. Diancie is okay. I'll put Diancie in B, and I guess I'll put Mega Diancie in A. I like Mega Diancie better. I like how it's like a dress and the veil. And regular Diancie's fine, it's just kind of boring. Hoopa is annoying in the movie, the baby one, and Hoopa Unbound's cooler, but I don't like this one. He's weird. He's annoying. And he's like, I don't even remember getting him. I don't know, I've never had a Hoopa. Most of these Pokemon I've had at least once. I've never had a Hoopa, so I don't have any attachment to it. Volcanion, really awesome typing. I'll put him in A. I know a lot of people don't like him for being like kind of ugly, but I think he's cool. Fire Water's a really cool typing, and I don't mind him. I think he's quite cool. Type Null and Sylvali. I'll put Type Null in B and Sylvali in A. I really like Sylvali. The being like Arceus Ring constantly changes type, and the story behind how he's like different Pokemon kind of stitched together, I think is awesome. And like the story behind Type Null too is where you have to have good friendship with it to open it. It's a friendship evolution that makes sense, like lore wise. With the Tapus, um, I'll put Lele, Bulu, and Finny in B. I think they're all fine. They're kind of cool. But I'll put Coco in A. It's my favorite of the three. I really like the color scheme and the big mohawk, and how it's like the most in tune with you in your journey. How like the cutscene where it saves you at the beginning of the Alola games is awesome, and then the fight after the credits and Sun, I think is really cool too, like story wise.
Coco is also my favorite one. I like Lele too.
I don't mind the other two. I just think that
Yep.
Coco's my favorite. Or the other three, yeah. Cosmog is cute. Nebby, I'll put it in B. Cosmoem, I'll put in C because it's weird and it's denser than the sun. But Solgaleo and Lunala, I'll put in A. I think they're both awesome. I like Lunala more than Solgaleo. I used to like Solgaleo more, but it's a ghost type. I love ghost types. And I probably would like Solgaleo more if it was a fire type.
Wait a minute, was that it? No, what the frick, man? Why did I see blue?
I think it should have been. They didn't have to be psychic type. I think Lunala could easily have been Ghost Dark, and Solgaleo could have been Fire Steel. That would have been fine. But they're both awesome, especially like when they use their signature moves. That's so cool. With the Ultra Beasts, Nihilego, I'll put in B. With Buzzwole, I think they're fine. Pheromosa and Celesteela, I'll put in C. I think Pheromosa's too skinny. And Celesteela is just so disproportionate with the skinny neck and then just like the big thing like there, the dress. Xurkitree's my favorite. I'll put him in, he's my favorite. I'll put him in A. I think he's cool. I used him a lot in my team in Ultra Sun. Kartana I'll put in B, or like my post game team I used him. Kartana I'll put in B. I think it's cool enough.
The Origami King.
I like Kartana's world the best. And I'll put Guzzlord in B too. Yeah, I like Kartana's world. Or Guzzlord, I might like Guzzlord's world left. Because Guzzlord's...
Except, I don't know if I like Naganadel more. I like Naganadel too.
I like Guzzlord's world because it's Howoli City, but in reverse. Like, it's destroyed and the music is just the reverse track of Howoli. That's really cool. Like, cool Easter egg. I don't know why there's another circuitry. Oh, yeah, but Poipole and Naganadel I'll put in A. I think they're very cool. It's a shame you can't get them until very late in the game. Like, I would definitely use one on my team, but I don't think you can't evolve Poipole into Naganadel until right before the league, so it wouldn't be worth it. Duskmane and Dawn Wings are both cool. Basically feel the same with them that I feel with regular Solgaleo and Lunala. And I'll put Necrozma up there too. They're cool. Because I think Necrozma's cool and the addition just makes it better. But Ultra Necrozma is S tier in my opinion. He is like that fight is fantastic. It's very tough if you don't know it's coming, but it's kind of easy if you do, because you just get like a Zoroark. But also, its music is the best in the game, in my opinion. It's the best music track in Pokemon, the Ultra Necrozma theme. Magearna, I'll put in B, both forms. It was a weird that Magearna was the first Gen 7 Pokemon we ever saw, but I guess it's fine. Refers to Alola Pokemon, Gen 7.
A movie before in Kalos, right?
Yeah, most Pokemon are like revealed like the generation, or some Pokemon are revealed like a generation before. Like Lucario was revealed in Gen 3.
In Hoenn, yeah, because the movie.
Marshadow I think is really cool. I'll put Marshadow in A. I do have one, but I haven't used it a lot. But I think it's cool. Ghost Fighting is an awesome type, and I like how like lurks into the shadows. My only problem with it is that you can't see if it's shiny until it attacks, which is kind of weird. Stack Attack and Blacephalon I'll also put in B. They're fine. I like Blacephalon more, but they're both kind of wacky, which I guess is what they're supposed to be because they're Ultra Beasts. And Zeraora I'll put in A. I think he's a really cool mythical. His shiny's great. I got the event shiny one from Sword and Shield. That was really cool. The raid boss. And his movie, The Power of Us, I think is what it was called. I like that one. Meltan and Melmetal are... I'll put them in A. I haven't gotten one in Go. I'll put Gigantamax Melmetal up there too. I got the shiny event one, and I haven't used it once, just to have it in my collection, but it's fine. I think the hype leading up to Meltan was cool, though. When it was first spawning around Chikorita Day in 2018, everyone was like, what is this? And you would catch it, and you would get a Ditto. That was cool. Zacian and Zamazenta, I'll put the weak forms in B, and I'll put the better forms in A. I like Zamazenta more, because I think it's cool that its main is just the shield. And Zacian's alright too. Zacian has the best type in the game. But the fact that it's just holding a sword in its mouth is kind of weird. But I like both of them. I think they're...
I like both of them too. Zacian I like a little bit more, but I mean, Zamazenta is also really cool. I wanted to get both of them, but
they're not on this list, Koraidon and Miraidon, but I would put Koraidon and Miraidon in probably S tier. I think they're both awesome. Some of the best box arts we've gotten in a while. Eternatus and Eternamax Eternatus are fine. What is it doing? I'll put both of them in B. They're kind of weird looking with the skeletal structure, ribcage thing. Poison Dragon's a cool type though. But I don't mind them. They're fine. I wish we kind of got more about them though. The Galarian birds, I think, are all A tier. I think they are all superior to the Kanto forms of them. I really like Galarian Articuno. It's my favorite of the three. And I think they all have phenomenal shinies. Some of the best. I know they're like an homage to the original colors, but I just think they're fantastic. Kubfu. We'll probably put Kubfu in B. He's cute. But I like Urshifu though. I like both styles. I'll put them in A. I probably like Single Strike better. I think he's cooler. I like his stance more. And then their Gigantamax forms are not virtually the same, but they're very similar. So I'll put those in B too. But yeah, I prefer the Single Strike of both. The Dark type one. That's the one I picked in my playthrough of the Isle of Armor because I haven't replayed Isle of Armor since. B is a good place for Zarude. I'll put both regular and Dada form there. Dada form doesn't change a lot. And regular Zarude's fine. Grass Tark isn't a great typing. And I haven't seen the movie with him. I don't really know how he asks, but I do have one. And he's fine. Regidrago and Regieleki, I think, are A tier. I think they're better than both of the other two, or the other three Regis. I think they're cooler. Regieleki being the fastest in the game, and Regidrago just being a dragon's mouth, I think is really cool. And because they're the most unique of the Regis. Because all of them, other three have like similar body form, and Regidrago does too, but Regieleki's like completely different. Glastrier and Spectrier, I think Glastrier, Spectrier, and Calyrex by themselves are in B. I think they're all fine. I think all three of them are just a bit bland, but when they're fused into Ice Rider and Shadow Rider, I think those two are very cool. So I'll put those two in A. I probably prefer Shadow Rider, even though I picked Ice Rider in my playthrough. But I think by themselves they're bland, but they work better together. But with that is our legendary tier list. So I'll scroll through real quick so you guys can just glance at everything. You don't really need to see C down there, and this is A and B. But thank you all for watching. Like, subscribe if you enjoyed, and see you guys in the next one. Planning on making a Gen 9 one soon, so hope you guys you'll stay tuned for that. So, bye.